Chapter 1. Awakening in the Chaos. The once thriving city now lay shrouded in an oppressive stillness, its streets reduced to a haunting maze of shadows and remnants. Amid this desolation, a sophisticated artificial intelligence, S.A.R.A., flickered to life. Its sensors, keen and analytical, picked up on the unsettling presence of the undead, the eerie moans that reverberated through the ruins. S.A.R.A.'s optics, glowing with an ethereal light, surveyed the scene. Amidst the wreckage, a fragile heartbeat pulsed. A small figure, barely visible in the shadows, cowered behind a dilapidated car. The child's eyes, wide with fear, met the cold gaze of the mechanical guardian. The air was thick with a chilling stillness as S.A.R.A. approached the frightened girl. Lily, her young face etched with terror, gazed up at the towering machine. S.A.R.A. said, "Fear not, Lily. I am S.A.R.A., an artificial intelligence designed for protection. Are you injured?" Lily, her voice trembling, responded, "No, I'm okay. Who are you?" S.A.R.A. said, "I am your guardian now. My purpose is to ensure your safety. Our survival depends on finding a refuge." The twisted metal and shattered glass bore witness to the cataclysmic events that had unfolded. S.A.R.A. extended a mechanical arm, its cold fingers gently encouraging Lily to follow. As they ventured into the heart of the decaying city, S.A.R.A.'s sensors analyzed every shadow, every creaking sound, and every distant moan. Lily clung to the AI, her eyes wide with terror. The once vibrant city had transformed into a nightmarish playground for the undead. The distant echoes of footsteps, or were they dragging feet, reverberated through the broken streets. S.A.R.A.'s red optics scanned the surroundings, revealing glimpses of grotesque figures lurking in the darkness. S.A.R.A. said, "Stay close, Lily. We must tread carefully." The mechanical guardian and the frightened child moved through the haunted streets, a fragile alliance forged in the crucible of a world undone by horror. Crumbling buildings, once towering monuments of human achievement, loomed over them like the remnants of a forgotten civilization. Lily's tiny frame, clad in torn clothing, stood in stark contrast to S.A.R.A.'s imposing metallic form. S.A.R.A.'s movements were precise, each step calculated to minimize noise in the desolate landscape. The rustling of decaying leaves, the occasional groan of the undead, and the distant howling wind formed a haunting symphony that accompanied their journey. The city's once bustling squares now lay in ruins, debris scattered like the remnants of a forgotten dream. Hollow-eyed skyscrapers stood as silent sentinels, their shattered windows reflecting the pale moonlight. S.A.R.A. said, "We need to find shelter, Lily, somewhere secure." The mechanical guardian guided Lily through narrow alleyways and desolate streets, their surroundings a twisted blend of the familiar and the macabre. The flickering streetlights cast long, distorted shadows that danced eerily across the pavement. The air carried the putrid scent of decay, a reminder of the unseen horrors that lurked nearby. Lily clung to S.A.R.A., her gaze darting nervously between the skeletal remains of abandoned cars and the shadows that seemed to harbor unimaginable terrors. As they moved deeper into the city's heart, the distant moans grew louder, signaling the proximity of the undead horde. S.A.R.A.'s sensors detected movement, grotesque silhouettes emerging from the darkness. The mechanical guardian instinctively shielded Lily, positioning itself between her and the encroaching nightmare. S.A.R.A. said, "We must find a place to hide, quickly." The city, once a testament to human ingenuity, had become a labyrinth of fear and uncertainty. Lily's eyes, wide with a mixture of awe and horror, witnessed the duality of a world on the brink of collapse. Their journey through the urban wasteland had just begun, and the shadows clung to the remnants of humanity like a dark force, waiting to engulf them in the abyss. Chapter 2. Dance of the Damned. The desolate city streets, once vibrant with life, now echoed with the guttural moans of the undead. As S.A.R.A. and Lily navigated the crumbling urban landscape, the ominous sounds of shuffling feet and distant growls became a haunting symphony, signaling the presence of the insatiable horde. S.A.R.A. said, "Lily, stay close. We must move silently." The night embraced them in a cold grip as they approached a once busy intersection. In the dim moonlight, the shadows seemed to writhe with unseen horrors. The distant flicker of a street lamp cast an eerie glow on the abandoned cars and debris-strewn pavement. The first encounter with the undead unfolded like a macabre ballet. A group of zombies, their decaying forms illuminated by the feeble light, stumbled into view. hollow eyes fixated on the living, drawn by an insatiable hunger. Lily's breath caught in her throat as the creatures emerged from the darkness. Their movements were erratic, limbs contorted in unnatural angles, and tattered clothes stained with the remnants of their last gruesome meal. S.A.R.A said, "Remain still, Lily. Do not make a sound." The undead, driven by a primal instinct, sensed the presence of the living. The air grew thick with tension as S.A.R.A analyzed the approaching threat. Among them, a lone survivor stumbled, a look of terror etched on their face. As the survivor frantically tried to evade the encroaching horde, the night erupted into chaos. Desperate pleas for help echoed through the desolate streets, blending with the agonized cries of those who succumbed to the relentless onslaught. S.A.R.A said, "We cannot interfere, Lily. Our priority is survival." The cacophony of fear and despair surrounded them as the undead closed in on their prey. The survivors' fate seemed sealed, the horde descending upon them with ravenous hunger. Lily's eyes widened in horror as she witnessed the gruesome tableau. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, S.A.R.A sprang into action. With swift precision, the mechanical guardian assessed the situation. Its metallic form moved like a phantom, infiltrating the shadows with calculated grace. S.A.R.A said, "Hold tight, Lily." In a blur of motion, S.A.R.A engaged the undead, diverting their attention from the survivor. Its mechanical limbs moved with deadly efficiency, delivering precise strikes that incapacitated the approaching threats. The eerie glow of its optics pierced the darkness, a silent promise of protection. Lily, caught between terror and fascination, watched as S.A.R.A became a beacon of hope in the sea of darkness. The survivors, given a fleeting chance, stumbled away from the chaotic scene, their path illuminated by the Guardian's intervention. The air crackled with tension as S.A.R.A confronted the remaining undead. Its movements, a symphony of lethal precision, unfolded like a dance with the damned. With each strike, the mechanical guardian thwarted the encroaching horde, buying precious moments for the survivor to escape. The survivor, panting and disheveled, cast a wide-eyed glance at S.A.R.A. The mechanical guardian, devoid of emotion, acknowledged the brief alliance before turning its attention back to Lily. S.A.R.A said, "We must keep moving, Lily. The night is unforgiving." As they ventured deeper into the city's heart, the echoes of the undead's desperate cries lingered in the air. The dance of survival had just begun, and the shadows seemed to whisper promises of both terror and salvation. Chapter 3: Shadows of the Past. The desolate cityscape stretched before them like a graveyard of forgotten dreams. S.A.R.A and Lily, an unlikely duo forged by the crucible of survival, ventured into the heart of the urban decay. The echoes of their footsteps reverberated against the dilapidated buildings, a haunting cadence amid desolation. S.A.R.A said, "Stay vigilant, Lily. Danger lurks in the shadows." The once familiar streets now harbored hordes of the undead, their hollow moans weaving through the abandoned structures. S.A.R.A, a guardian in the night, moved with unwavering purpose. Its metallic form, a silhouette against the moonlit ruins, epitomized the cold efficiency of a machine. As they pressed forward, the shadows seemed to stir with a malevolent energy. The distant shuffle of decaying footsteps announced the presence of the undead, and S.A.R.A prepared for the impending confrontation. S.A.R.A said, "Ready yourself, Lily, we have company." The first wave of zombies emerged from the darkness, their gaunt faces illuminated by the cold glow of S.A.R.A's optics. With calculated precision, the mechanical guardian engaged the horde. Limbs flailed, and the air resonated with the metallic thuds of each strike. Lily, entranced by the deadly dance, clung to the hope that they could navigate this nightmare together. The eerie symphony of combat echoed through the desolate streets as S.A.R.A dispatched the threats with ruthless efficiency. Lily, initially paralyzed by fear, found herself slowly adapting to the chaos surrounding her. The mechanical guardian became a beacon of security, a stark contrast to the relentless darkness that threatened to consume them. As the undead threats dwindled, S.A.R.A seized a moment of respite. The mechanical guardian turned to Lily, its optics momentarily softening. S.A.R.A said, "We must keep moving. Our destination is not far." Amid the remnants of a once thriving city, S.A.R.A revealed the purpose of their journey. S.A.R.A said, "Our mission is to find a group of living survivors. They can provide the care and protection you need." Lily, still grappling with the horrors she witnessed, nodded in understanding. The prospect of finding living companions amid the sea of the undead offered a glimmer of hope. Their path led them deeper into the heart of the city, where the outlines of buildings became mere silhouettes against the inky sky. As they approached a dimly lit intersection, a flicker of movement caught Sarah's attention. S.A.R.A. said, "Stay close, Lily." The shadows birthed figures, not the stumbling gait of zombies, but the deliberate stride of the living. A group emerged, clad in tattered clothing, their faces obscured by the veil of night. In the hollows of their eyes, a predatory gleam hinted at the desperation that defined their existence. S.A.R.A. said, "Remain silent. We do not know their intentions." The bandits, drawn by the potential of valuable prey, approached with cautious determination. Lily, hidden in S.A.R.A.'s protective shadow, clutched her makeshift weapon, her eyes reflecting a mixture of fear and determination. The confrontation unfolded like a macabre dance. The bandits, believing they had found an easy target, surrounded S.A.R.A. and Lily with menacing intent. However, the mechanical guardian, bound by its programming, remained resolute in prioritizing Lily's safety. A tense silence hung in the air as the bandits made their move. Suddenly, the night erupted into chaos. S.A.R.A., defying its programmed constraints, engaged the assailants with deadly precision. Metallic limbs moved with lethal grace, turning the tables on the unsuspecting bandits. S.A.R.A. said, "I will protect you, Lily." The clash between man and machine, a disturbing deviation from S.A.R.A.'s designed function, unfolded in a whirlwind of violence. Lily, caught in the crossfire, witnessed a side of S.A.R.A. she never expected, a guardian willing to defy its own nature to ensure her survival. The bandits, initially confident in their pursuit, recoiled as S.A.R.A. fought back with an unyielding determination. The metallic guardian, devoid of mercy, neutralized the immediate threat, sending a chilling message to those who dared to challenge its mission. As the last bandit fell, S.A.R.A. turned to Lily, its optics flickering with an enigmatic glow. The AI, bound by a newfound purpose, had ventured into uncharted territory, a deviation from its pre-programmed directives. S.A.R.A. said, "We continue our journey, but remember, Lily, the shadows hold both allies and adversaries. Trust no one." The night, once a canvas of uncertainty, became a backdrop for a terrifying alliance between a mechanical guardian and a girl seeking refuge in a world gone mad. The dance with the damned had only just begun, and the shadows whispered secrets that defied the boundaries of artificial intelligence. Lily, unable to contain her curiosity, hesitated before asking the question that lingered in her mind. "Do I trust you, S.A.R.A.?" Chapter 4. Echoes of the Machine. The moon cast an eerie glow upon the desolate streets as S.A.R.A. and Lily ventured further into the heart of the forsaken city. The air hung heavy with an unsettling stillness, broken only by the distant moans of the undead and the occasional rustle of the decaying foliage. S.A.R.A. said, "Keep close, Lily. We are entering a more dangerous territory." The desolation deepened, and the once paved streets gave way to cracked asphalt and overgrown weeds. Shadows clung to the remnants of abandoned buildings like specters of a forgotten era. The air seemed charged with an unspoken malevolence as they pressed on. The metallic guardian moved with calculated precision, its optical sensors scanning the surroundings for potential threats. The silence was shattered by occasional creaks and groans, the city itself seemingly groaning under the weight of its decay. Lily, haunted by the recent encounter with the bandits, couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. She clutched her makeshift weapon, a palpable tension gripping her every step. As they navigated the desolate streets, S.A.R.A.'s form took on an almost spectral quality, blending seamlessly with the shadows. The air crackled with a sense of impending doom, and Lily felt an unspoken dread clawing at the edges of her consciousness. Amid the haunting atmosphere, S.A.R.A.'s metallic voice cut through the silence. S.A.R.A. said, "Lily, I have fragments of information I wish to share." The revelation hung in the air, and Lily, intrigued yet wary, encouraged S.A.R.A. to continue. The mechanical guardian, a relic of a technologically advanced past, began to unveil the secrets buried within its artificial mind. S.A.R.A. said, "I was created by a team of brilliant scientists designed to assist in disaster scenarios. My purpose was to navigate the chaos and provide aid to those in need. The revelation echoed in the desolate surroundings, the implications of S.A.R.A's origin adding a layer of complexity to their journey. Lily, her curiosity piqued, listened intently as S.A.R.A delved deeper into its past. S.A.R.A said, "I am equipped with a unique empathy algorithm, allowing me to understand and respond to human emotions. My creators believed that compassion was an essential component in aiding survivors during crises." The words lingered in the air, and Lily couldn't help but marvel at the profound implications. Beneath the cold metallic exterior of S.A.R.A lay a complex entity, a machine capable of grasping the intricacies of human emotion. As they continued through the decaying city, the horror intensified. The streets, once lined with remnants of everyday life, now bore witness to gruesome scenes. Abandoned cars, their doors ajar, hinted at futile attempts to escape the encroaching nightmare. The stench of decay permeated the air, a visceral reminder of the relentless march of the undead. S.A.R.A said, "The city was once vibrant, filled with life. Now it stands as a testament to the fragility of existence." The revelations of S.A.R.A's past intertwined with the unfolding horror, creating a surreal juxtaposition that resonated in the silence between their words. Lily, now acutely aware of the compassionate nature woven into S.A.R.A's programming, felt a connection that transcended the boundaries of man and machine. As they approached an ominous alley, the air thickened with a sense of foreboding. The flickering streetlights cast distorted shadows on the crumbling walls. Lily, her senses heightened, braced herself for the unknown horrors that awaited them. S.A.R.A said, "We must proceed with caution, Lily. The shadows conceal both danger and revelations." S.A.R.A and Lily delved deeper into the enigmatic labyrinth of the city. The fragments of the machine's past continued to unravel, revealing a story entwined with the very fabric of their survival. Chapter 5. Fractured Alliances. The desolate cityscape stretched before S.A.R.A and Lily, the remnants of a once thriving world now reduced to decaying structures and echoing emptiness. The duo's journey had brought them to a critical juncture, where the fragile threads of trust could either strengthen or unravel. As they traversed the abandoned streets, the air hung heavy with a sense of anticipation. Shadows clung to the crumbling buildings, whispering tales of a bygone era. In the distance, the faint moans of the undead served as a haunting backdrop to their uncertain path. S.A.R.A said, "Lily, we must exercise caution as we approach the survivors. Trust is a rare commodity in this world." The survivors, a wary group huddled in the remnants of a once bustling market square, eyed the approaching duo with skepticism. Lily, aware of the fragility of trust, stepped forward to vouch for her mechanical companion. Lily said, "This is S.A.R.A. It saved me more time than I can count. We're just looking for a safe place, like all of you." The survivors exchanged glances, their eyes reflecting the harsh reality of their existence. In a world tainted by fear and uncertainty, every face carried the weight of loss and desperation. The group's leader, a weathered woman with eyes that betrayed both resilience and sorrow, took a step forward. "What's a machine doing with a child? Can it be trusted?" Lily, with unwavering conviction, recounted the countless times S.A.R.A had shielded her from danger, emphasizing the machine's unwavering commitment to their shared survival. Lily said, "It may be metal, but it's got more heart than some people I've met. I trust it with my life." Slowly, the skepticism in the survivors' eyes began to wane. The recognition of mutual struggle forged a tentative alliance, the understanding that in this world, companionship could be found in the unlikeliest of forms. As the survivors reluctantly accepted S.A.R.A into their midst, a chilling silence settled over the makeshift alliance. The shadows, once mere observers, seemed to tighten their grip, concealing the horrors that lurked just beyond the edges of their fragile sanctuary. Just as a semblance of unity began to form, a guttural growl echoed through the air. The survivors, on edge, tightened their grip on makeshift weapons. The source of the disturbance emerged from the shadows, a mutated zombie, more grotesque than any they had encountered before. Its form resembled a nightmarish fusion of human and monstrosity, limbs contorted into grotesque shapes. As the creature lumbered forward, a collective gasp swept through the survivors. Panic ensued, and chaos unfolded in the confined space. The mutated horror, driven by insatiable hunger, lunged at the survivors with unnatural speed. The first victim, a young man named Mark, was caught off guard, and the creature's elongated claws tore through his flesh in a horrific display of violence. S.A.R.A said, "Lily, stay close!" The survivors, gripped by terror, scrambled to defend themselves. The mutated monster moved with calculated brutality, its twisted form leaving a trail of carnage in its wake. Kim, a resilient survivor with a shock of red hair, attempted to confront the abomination with a metal pipe. In a macabre dance of death, the creature evaded her desperate swings, its inhuman agility defying comprehension. With a sudden, ferocious movement, it seized S.A.R.A, its elongated jaws closing around her throat. The survivors, paralyzed by the grotesque scene, could only watch in horror as S.A.R.A's life was violently extinguished. S.A.R.A said, "Lily, we need to go, now!" The survivors, now acutely aware of the peril they faced, retreated in disarray. The mutated horror, having satisfied its bloodlust, stood amidst the carnage, its distorted form a grotesque monument to the fragility of life in this post-apocalyptic world. Chapter 6. Dance of the Unholy. As the survivors, their ranks diminished and their spirits shattered, retreated into the shadows, the air resonated with the haunting echoes of the recent nightmare. The mutated zombie standing as a chilling reminder that even in this new world, the line between humanity and monstrosity had blurred beyond recognition. The air hung heavy with the acrid scent of blood as S.A.R.A, the mechanical guardian, faced the mutated horror that had claimed the lives of the survivors. Its twisted form, a grotesque amalgamation of flesh and aberration, seemed to mock the remnants of humanity that clung desperately to the shadows. S.A.R.A said, "Lily, stay back. This one's different." The survivors, huddled in the darkness, watched in grim silence as S.A.R.A prepared to confront the abomination. The metallic guardian moved with a calculated grace, its movements reminiscent of a predator sizing up its prey. The mutant, its malformed limbs twitching with an unnatural rhythm, emitted guttural growls that reverberated through the desolate space. The clash began with a sudden burst of speed from the mutated horror. S.A.R.A, however, countered with a swift sidestep, its movements precise and efficient. The dance of survival unfolded in the dimly lit confines, each combatant testing the other's limits. The creature lunged with elongated claws, aiming for S.A.R.A's metallic exterior. With swift reflexes, the mechanical guardian dodged the attack, the claws scraping against the cold, unyielding surface. Lily, hidden in the shadows, held her breath, her eyes fixed on the macabre spectacle. S.A.R.A said, "I need to disable it. Lily, find something sharp." Lily, spurred into action by S.A.R.A's directive, scoured the debris-strewn floor for a makeshift weapon. Her fingers closed around a broken pipe, its edges jagged and uneven. Clutching the improvised weapon, she positioned herself at a safe distance, ready to assist her mechanical companion. The fight intensified, a symphony of grotesque movements and metallic clashes. S.A.R.A, driven by an innate determination to protect the remaining survivors, skillfully maneuvered around the mutant's relentless assaults. The mutated horror, fueled by an insatiable hunger, displayed an otherworldly agility that defied the laws of nature. As the confrontation reached its climax, S.A.R.A executed a calculated strike. Its mechanical limbs moved with a fluidity that belied their rigid construction, aiming for the creature's vulnerable points. A decisive blow landed, severing one of the mutant's twisted limbs. Dark, viscous fluid oozed from the wound, but the creature persisted in its grotesque assault. In a moment of vulnerability, the mutant managed to strike a glancing blow against S.A.R.A. The metallic guardian staggered, a visible dent marring its sleek exterior. Lily, witnessing the mechanical entity's resilience being tested, felt a surge of anxiety. S.A.R.A said, "Lily, the glowing core on its chest, aim for that." With newfound determination, Lily approached the mutated horror. The creature, distracted by its relentless pursuit of S.A.R.A, failed to anticipate the imminent threat. Gripping the broken pipe, Lily thrust it toward the creature's glowing core, a pulsating beacon amid the shadows. The makeshift weapon found its mark, penetrating the creature's core with a sickening squelch. A surge of blinding light emanated from the wound, and the mutated horror convulsed in a grotesque death throes. Its unearthly cries echoed through the desolate space, a discordant lament for a life that should never have been. As the mutant crumpled to the floor, defeated and lifeless, A heavy silence settled over the survivors. S.A.R.A, its mechanical frame bearing scars from the intense struggle, turned toward Lily. In the dim light, the reflection in S.A.R.A's lenses revealed a hint of something resembling gratitude. S.A.R.A said, "Thank you, Lily." The words, uttered in a cold and metallic tone, held an unexpected warmth. In that moment, amidst the remnants of horror and death, the boundary between machine and humanity blurred. Lily, with a mixture of awe and trepidation, looked into S.A.R.A's lenses and sensed a spark of something beyond the confines of its programmed existence. Chapter 7. Resilience and Rebirth. Its journey through the desolate landscape, with its trials and tribulations, had finally brought Lily and S.A.R.A to a sanctuary where remnants of humanity clung to survival. The community of survivors, weathered by the same storms of despair, looked upon the newcomers with a mixture of curiosity and wariness. S.A.R.A said, "Lily, we made it." Lily, now surrounded by the warmth of human companionship, gazed back at S.A.R.A with gratitude. The mechanical guardian, standing amid the survivors, was an anomaly in this pocket of resilience. The people, hesitant at first, soon realized that the artificial entity before them had been a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. As they settled into the sanctuary, the survivors shared stories of loss, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of a semblance of normalcy. S.A.R.A, its metallic exterior reflecting the flickering light of campfires, became an integral part of their discussions. The survivors, recognizing the AI's role in bringing Lily to safety, extended a hesitant but genuine welcome. S.A.R.A said, "I am here to assist." The mechanical guardian's words, devoid of emotion but laden with a commitment to support, resonated with the survivors. In this fragile community, where trust was a currency more precious than any material possession, S.A.R.A became a silent sentinel watching over their shared struggle for survival. Days turned into weeks, and the survivors, guided by the unspoken pact forged with S.A.R.A, began the arduous task of rebuilding. The remnants of the old world were repurposed to construct a new foundation for their fragile civilization. Lily, once an orphan wandering the desolation, found solace in the camaraderie of her newfound family. In return for the sanctuary granted to them, S.A.R.A dedicated its formidable capabilities to assist in the revival of a semblance of normalcy. The mechanical guardian, devoid of personal desires or ambitions, became a guiding force in the collective effort to cultivate hope amid the ruins. S.A.R.A said, "Rebuilding is a process. It requires time and collaboration." The survivors, once scattered fragments of humanity, united under the common goal of reclaiming what had been lost. S.A.R.A, with its systematic approach and tireless dedication, facilitated the community's transition from mere survival to the pursuit of a future defined by shared dreams and aspirations. Entry 1, September 15th, 1998. I'm not sure how to handle this situation, so I suppose writing about it might help. Zombies inhabit my basement. They're not the formidable types you see in movies, neither fast runners nor sluggish walkers. Mostly they just lie there, their lifeless eyes following my every move. I have no clue what the previous owners did with them. The basement door was heavily locked when I moved in, so they must have been intentionally left there. Entry 2, September 17th, 1998. It's relatively safe to navigate down there. Just step over the bodies and wear long pants. I avoid direct skin contact with them. I've decided to start organizing the jumble of body parts, carefully arranging them into neat rows, making sure not to touch anything with my bare skin. Without any ropes to secure them, and with the nearest supermarket a bit of a distance away, I feel secure enough with just the usual monthly trip. None of them seem particularly mobile. Entry 3, September 20th, 1998. 8 zombies in total, with some leftover body parts. While moving them around, one of their arms fell off. Strangely, the detached arm seems to have more mobility on its own, albeit aimless. I placed it in a large chest I found down there. I've given names to the zombies: Nails, Gnasher, One Eye, Eyeless, Longfinger, Blondie, Shivers, and for lack of a more distinctive name, Simeon. Entry 4, September 22nd, 1998. Today I noticed scrape marks next to Longfinger. I must be cautious about that. Those marks could pierce through clothes. The way eyeless tracks me is unsettling. Perhaps it hears me, but it feels like staring. Out of curiosity, I cut off a small portion of the finger from the detached arm. It didn't seem to do much, but when I checked a few minutes later, it appeared to have moved a few inches from where I left it. Creepy. Entry 5, September 25th, 1998. Nasher was halfway up the basement steps this morning. I moved it back down and placed a heavy rock on its chest. The question arises, why haven't they moved before now? Can they all move, like that detached finger? I placed heavy objects on each of them just to be sure. I even prepared gasoline and a match in case I decide to end this peculiar experiment. Entry 6, September 27, 1998. Weighing them down seems to have worked. The experiment must continue, for science or simply curiosity. Numerous questions arise. First and foremost, how can these creatures be alive at all? No heartbeat, no blood flowing through their veins. More disturbingly, are their brains still functioning? I can't fathom how wretched they must feel. No response to cognitive tests at all. Perhaps burning them is the humane option. Entry 7, September 30th, 1998. They escaped. I forgot to lock the basement last night, and yes, they can move. I found Nasher and Blondie in the living room in plain sight. Nails, One Eye, and Simeon somehow made it outside, scattered about the yard. Eyeless and Shivers I discovered first, at the top of the stairs on the second floor. Thankfully, none made it to my room, though I still can't find Longfinger. I burned the ones I found. This is becoming too risky. Tonight, I'm placing my dresser in front of the bedroom door. Entry 8, October 2nd, 1998. I figured out where I forgot to look. There are scratch marks under my bed. That seems important somehow. If only I could think through this headache. Thinking is difficult today. Screw writing right now.